What's going on, guys? It's me, Max, back with an episode of Offshore Entrepreneur, the program for digital nomads, business people, investors and entrepreneurs. In this episode, I'm going to tell you why I don't recommend hiring Westerners 70% of the time. And if you are running a company at the moment, you can probably save yourself a tremendous amount of money by not hiring Westerners. Now, disclaimer, what I am going to say at the beginning of this video is first and foremost is that at Offshore Entrepreneur, not only do we provide residency services for Paraguay, Panama and many other locations, we also provide tax planning services for Europeans, Americans and other people, but we also provide offshore staff. So if you are an American company, a British company, an Australian company or a European company looking for English speaking staff members to reduce the amount you're spending on wages every month, we can help you with offshore staff in the Philippines and other locations and increase your efficiency, reduce your costs and help you scale effectively on demand without the needs of things like employee payroll, holidays, vacations, and also the cost of office space in the West, which is ever increasing. So anyway, let's get into the video, right? So first and foremost, what I'm going to say is I understand that not every position can be offshored or outsourced. Now, don't get me wrong. If you are working within certain sectors of the employment market, if you are perhaps an American or a UK salesman within a specific sector, or you're a CEO or a manager, or you're a highly skilled individual with a unique set of skills, I appreciate that your labour cannot be just treated like a widget and outsourced or offshored. However, what I will say is that the politicians, since the severe sickness and beyond, have kind of acted like a doctor that poisons you and then gets you to come to them for a cure afterwards, and then makes money by giving you the poison and then makes money on the cure. And what do I mean by this is, throughout the situation with the severe sickness, obviously the Western politicians did a number of unscrupulous things. I won't go into specifics, but they essentially caused this environment that we're living in now, where we've had this tremendously high inflation, increased energy costs, and sky-high costs of other things, labour, living costs, all that good stuff in the UK and in the USA, right? Now, the problem is that obviously what happens then is the average Westerner or blue-collar worker, I mean, my family and my parents and all the people in my family are truck drivers, they're mechanics, they're construction people, they're labourers, so I don't come from an upper-class English background, right? But what I will say is the mindset of these kind of people, including members of my family, are that everything's gone up in the cost of living, they don't realise that the government's caused it, and then they bang the drum for higher wages, right? Now, obviously, the more you increase the cost of labour for a low-skilled to even a mid-skilled individual, it's going to reduce the amount of jobs in the market to an extent. And it's going to incentivise people to offshore staff, outsource or automate if they can. Because at the end of the day, if we're in business, our primary objective is to be a good steward of our company, a good CEO, a good managing director, a good leader, and reduce costs and deliver the most profit possible for the business we're either working in or an owner of, right? That is the goal. However, the average man in the street does not realise this, and obviously it's like if the cost of a mechanic was only $5, and I'm not advocating for this, you know what I mean? I'm very indifferent towards like my opinion on this sort of stuff, you know what I mean? I'm not someone like Peter Schiff where, I'm completely against minimum wage. I'm not someone who, seeks for a super high minimum wage. But what I will say is, because we are partly an offshoring company, that's one of the companies in our portfolio of companies. When the minimum wages and the costs of labour go up in the West, it benefits people like me and my business partners, because all that happens is there is a trend of offshoring and outsourcing from low-skilled to mid-skilled labour for any position that can be. So what a lot of these people don't realise in the West, that when these minimum wages get increased, because it makes labour more expensive, it literally incentivises capital to go offshore. So what you end up with then is, it's like if you could hire 2 mechanics or 2 customer service people for $5 an hour, right? So for $10 you could get 2 of them, and they increase the minimum wage to $10 an hour. There's only going to be 1 position instead of 2 positions. So you're going to have more people, or you're going to have more people on unemployment, or you're going to have more of the jobs going abroad, because let's be honest, Capital doesn't congregate in areas where it doesn't make sense. It goes to the best and most feasible location. I mean, think if you're a farmer, capital is looking for the most fertile economic soil all of the time. It's not looking to just hang around in an area where it can't grow or it's not beneficial for it, right? Unless it's in charity, right? But obviously at the moment, Western countries aren't a charity, and communism hasn't hit yet, but it might do in the next 10 years. So when these labour costs increase in the West, it literally incentivises capital to go abroad. Because I mean, in the UK at the moment, minimum wage for anyone that's over 21 years old is about £10.18, which is about $12.18 or $12.20 per hour, right? So if I have to pay a 21-year-old with no experience like $12 an hour or £10.18 an hour to sit on the reception desk in my office in the UK or in the USA. In California, I know the minimum wage is currently about $15 an hour, because on the outsourcing and offshoring division of Offshore Entrepreneur, we've recently got a lot of business from California, and I know minimum wage is about $15 an hour over there at the moment. So why would I pay either the 15 or the £10.18 or $12 in the UK to get some 21-year-old with no experience, not a great work ethic and not a great skill set to either sit on my reception or sit and answer my calls or do customer service, when I can literally hire 2 Filipino or 2 Latin American or 2 Eastern European people through companies like our own, for the price of one Westerner who has no experience and a bad work ethic. It just doesn't make sense. So unless these countries have now become a charity, or hiring young people is considered a charitable act, for a lot of business, for any labour that's mid to low level, low skilled to mid skilled, it just isn't making sense. So for companies like us, where we're hiring offshore receptionists, marketing people, customer service people, and other kind of mid skilled technical positions, it just isn't making sense for our clients to hire people in the West. But obviously at the end of the day, these politicians don't really care that these jobs are going abroad. They just want to pacify the populace and try and stay in power for another term so they can rob more money from the taxpayers' coffers, right? So I just thought I would make this video and outline these points. So it's like, the reason I don't advocate hiring Westerners 65-70% of the time now in 2023 is just from a capital standpoint and from a business standpoint. It just isn't making sense anymore. So it's like, the more and more things get expensive in the West, the more this is going to happen. And one of the things we're doing for a lot of people recently is we're doing things like we're forming companies in Delaware, Wyoming, and United States jurisdictions for people who aren't US citizens. We're then providing them with offshore staff from the Philippines to do any customer service work or any admin or assistant work or responding to emails. And they're basing themselves in a tax jurisdiction that doesn't tax foreign income or has no income tax. And they're saving on the employee costs by not hiring Westerners. They're helping to tax plan efficiently by not living in a country that has high taxes. And then they're also operating through an LLC that is structured in a tax efficient manner. So despite a lot of people not liking this, one of the things that's going to happen is structures like this continue into the future. And at Offshore Entrepreneur, we don't have a strong opinion of this either way. Look, we are just consultants that help people, go to seek opportunity beyond their own borders and go to the location where they are treated well and where they can save on taxes and live a happier, freer lifestyle and keep more of the money in their own pocket. Because at the end of the day, we're living in a hyper-fast, changing world at the moment. No one knows what the next year is going to bring with things like ChatGPT or bad AI that's even come out recently, and these wars that are happening around the world. So the best thing that you can do as a business person, as a Westerner, as an entrepreneur, is to look out for yourself, look out for your capital, look out for your own pocket, and look out for your family. So if you want help escaping the West and you want residency in Paraguay, Panama, or a number of other locations, you can reach out to us. If you're wanting tax planning advice to help reduce on your taxes and keep more of your hard-earned money, or you are wanting to reduce the cost of your labour within your business with offshore staff, Offshore Entrepreneur can help you do this. We are consultants that facilitate global business and help you seek opportunity beyond your own borders. So go to our website, offshoreentrepreneur.net, and we will help you with all these things. If you are wanting a link to book a Calendly call, this link is only for the tax planning services. You can book a link in the description below. And if you are wanting either the residency or you are wanting the offshore staff, go onto the contact me form on our website, fill that out, tell us what you want, contact us on there and we'll book a call with you. Or alternatively, email us at info@offshoreentrepreneur.net. So thank you for watching this video, guys. Thank you for tuning into the channel. Our channel is growing pretty quick, and I appreciate you all liking, subscribing, being part of this channel and helping us grow our business. Because at the end of the day, all we're here to do is help you live a happier, freer lifestyle away from the eyes of these government totalitarian politicians and dictators. So thank you for watching the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.